Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Captain Deadwake here, doing a little voiceover, letting you know that this is part 2 of my Bounty Hunting for Beginners mini-series. Well, it's really just 2 videos. Unless, enough questions or comments make me make a third part to this to answer those questions. But if you haven't seen part 1, go check it out. It'll be linked in the description or at the end of this video, but it's also right there on the channel, clear as day. Bounty Hunting for Beginners, part 1, Stanton. The focus of this video is actually going to be going into Pyro and showing how the bounties are a little bit different and how the actual rep works between Bounty Hunters Guild and CFP, and it also applies to Headhunters, though I've not really gone too much into Headhunter rep as I've favored the CFP side of things. As a quick recap though, we have gotten the $45 game package as our sort of experiment here with the Mustang Alpha, and in part 1 we worked our way up to upgrading the ship with the money we've earned through the actual bounty hunting missions, going from our VLRTs to LRTs to MRTs before we went into Pyro here. I hope you really enjoy this. I hope it is helpful more than anything. And please hit me with all your comments and questions down below and suggestions on ways to address this in the future or things you'd like to see in these sort of how-tos from me. That said, we're going to kick off part 2 with the really cool experience of jumping from Stanton to Pyro for those of you who haven't really seen the wormhole travel in this game, and then we'll continue on towards Starlight Station, the area I like to work around, continue to rank up in ways that you might not expect. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy. Alright guys, if you guys have not made it into Pyro yet, we're going to go through that now. So you want to make sure you've got your jump drive installed. Whenever you're changing out quantum drives and such, make sure you take off your propulsion first, your jump drive, otherwise it can not be attached when you put your, or it will not be there when you put your new quantum drive on. You have to reattach that. So if you don't see these guide lanes, these lights, if it shows you on your screen requires jump drive, you gotta head to the gateway to grab one. You can buy it from Platinum Bay. Jump drives are easy to get your hands on. Let's see what we got here. We got a Polaris heading into the tunnel as well. We're gonna go ahead and continue slowing down. Once you have your jump drive, you'll begin to calibrate and line up with the wormhole, the Einstein-Rosen bridge. So he's actually cracking it open right now, so we'll just jump in with him. We don't need to actually open it ourselves. So we just gotta wait for the wormhole to finish opening. We'll come to a stop here. That Polaris is probably gonna jump in just before we do. There he goes, and we're right behind him. Hell yeah. Now this part is pretty exciting, but you gotta keep yourself from hitting the walls. And you'll have some quantum tunneling up here that you have to stay away from. You gotta fly in between. So you don't need to use your throttle. You're fixed in your speed through the quantum, or through the wormhole. You just want to steer and make sure that you avoid hitting anything. Now, we're kind of lucky. The Polaris is in here. Well, he's scraping stuff. But he's, the wormhole adjusts to size to fit the ships that are in it. So those alarms mean we're getting a little close to the wall. You are burning quantum fuel as you come through here. And if you strike these quantum pillars or too close to the wall, you'll burn quantum energy. So just be patient. Just kind of flow through it. And enjoy the experience. So we're getting our transition now between systems. That Pyro red. Polaris is doing a good job of keeping his movements simple. You still have your velocity indicator. You just keep pointing it towards those open spaces. We are definitely going to have to refuel at Stanton Gateway when we come through. Pyro Gateway is on Stanton side, and Stanton Gateway is on Pyro side. There we go. There's our exit. Such a cool experience doing this. And then we're going to get away from this guy as fast as we can. Because we don't need to get lit up by a Polaris. So I'm going to lock quantum on the gateway and just try to get over there. So we're just going to come in here and refuel, and then we'll head over to Starlight Station, which is where I like to work out of for bounties. Not too far from Bloom and Obituary, which is going to be my home in this patch when it goes live. So you also don't even need to actually go into a hangar if you don't want to. You can go to these external pads. So I do have that hangar called, but I realized we can avoid that by just coming down right here. We'll go ahead and get this refuel. Hopefully we'll have enough energy to make it a Starlight. Pyro system is a lot more spread out, so actually flying around in a light fighter can be a challenge because you don't have a deep enough fuel tank to actually make it happen. So we're going to set destination. Now, it doesn't always reflect that your quantum fuel is in fact refueled. Usually it is, though. But we're going to try to navigate over to Starlight. And it looks like we will make it. Awesome. So, just like with Krill 1, the goal here, touchdown, set our medical spawn. That way, if the worst happens, we respawn right here and not back in Stanton. That would suck. That's a lot of wasted time. Remember that, my friends. Set your med spawns. Now, most of Pyro is laid out pretty similarly, but I will run you up to the medical center so you guys can see where it's at. But you'll come through your main area here, where you got your terminals. You also got your Pyro Edition food and water, recycled water, and creepy things. I don't really understand. But hey, it's sustenance. You'll just come into this spot, and then you got your med clinic just to the right. So it's pretty easy to get to. It's about as sanitary looking as Grim Hex, if not a little bit worse. But you come toward these terminals, cut a right. There you go. There's your regen spot. Set your med print. Starlight Clinic or wherever in Pyro you want. I like going to Starlight Clinic or around Obituary because you can get so many missions. Bounty, salvage, all kinds of stuff that are all in this small region of space. We're only about 2 gigs away from Bloom. And our Pyro 3 as well as Obituary Station. But yeah, that's it. We'll set our med spawn here like we just did, and now we'll go tackle some missions. We are looking at an upgraded Mustang Alpha. Just to show you our systems, we've got a top of the line Gaylord cooler, Class A civilian. Didn't really care to go for the Vapor Block because this only requires a minimum of 1 power pip, which is perfect. That way you can make sure your power is distributed everywhere else. Don't have the second cooler equipped. Don't need it. 1 power pip is enough. 1 cooler is enough to keep your IR down and to allow you to put your power where you want it. We got the upgraded Class A Industrial Breton Quantum power plant. We got our Atlas Quantum Drive. We got our Palisade shields, and of course our attrition weapons. So this Mustang Alpha is plenty equipped to handle the task. We're going to go ahead and pull it up and jump into some Pyro bounties. But by the time you get to MRT, which happens quickly, you know, we did it in this same session, you'll have enough money to have fully upgraded your ship, whichever ship it is you're using. Again, I'm kind of using the bottom of the barrel cheapest option, so it only gets better from here. Honestly, if you can get your hands on a Gladius, a Saber, a Buccaneer, there's a lot of really good light fighter options. And if you get your hands on Hornets too, like a Super Hornet and such, I mean, you fly through these things, and of course heavy fighters, or even bigger ships, but of course you kind of need to be able to make the money to get the bigger ships. So out here in Pyro, rep works a little bit differently. Now, we are guild member, which allows us to do MRTs, and what you'll notice when you go into Bounty Hunter, these missions pay a lot more. So your VLRT pays 10,000 more than your MRTs in Stanton, and our MRT pays 86K a piece. Now, once I notice all these have no affiliation here. You might have seen in my other videos that you can also start to build up your rep with the CFP or Citizens for Prosperity by taking on Headhunter pilots. So I'm going to go after this one and see what happens, and then experiment with something to see about how to unlock the 93K Headhunter MRT and see what the trick might be there. Now, this mission is propping out about 25 gigs away. I am not going to take that because that is frankly a waste of travel time, because you can have missions that are popping up right around the corner. So why waste the time and fuel going to that? We're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and abandon and move on to another mission. And since that's the case, I think what I'll actually do is see if I can unlock those other missions by doing a mercenary mission for the CFP, Citizens for Prosperity. Yeah, see, this one's literally right around the corner, not even 60 megs away. So this is also going to pay more than your Bounty Hunter mission, but what it does is it starts the rep because you're doing a mission for the CFP. That way you can start to gain reputation with them, and you gain reputation through your bounties of the Bounty Hunter Guild for the CFP by taking out Headhunter pilots, at least up until MRT level. After that, it doesn't contribute any further. Now these missions are a little bit harder. We got to protect whatever ship is in the middle and take out all the rest, so we'll see if we can do this. More often than not, something dumb happens and they run into them. Alright, here we go.
All channels! I'm under attack! Please, if you hear this, help me!
Yep, coming in. Gotta protect this guy who's just gonna sit here and let all these aircraft hit him. There's also a lot more pilots than there are in your typical bounty. Alright, one down. Let's go after this Mustang next. Alright, I'm going to go back to our main guy. Make sure he's not getting hit by anybody else. Looks like he's okay. Oh, he's going to run right into him. Jeez.
Target has been destroyed.
Alright, we got another Mustang. Let's take him out. Again, you guys can see the benefit of the attritions, man. They hit hard. Alright, we should be about there.
I thought we were done for.
Awesome. Wow, I'm actually surprised we completed that mission. I was pretty sure it was going to mess up. So, let's see what happens as far as available bounty missions now. Because now, on our rep side of things, yep, CFP is here. And we're already bumping up a little bit, which is good. Okay, so you might have to get to a certain degree of CFP before you can get the Headhunter bounties. But let's see, did we get any new ones? No, but we did get this one. So let's run over and check this out. Yep, less than 4 gigs away, which is a lot better than 25. We'll also check, I'm pretty sure you don't gain Bounty Hunter rep while in Pyro doing these. At least that wasn't the case for a while, so we're going to keep an eye on that too. So we are just barely in guild members, so if we get any experience for this, it'll be very obvious. We probably have to rank up CFP a bit to get more of the Headhunter bounties, but that's when you start to make insane money. Like your MRTs are 93k, your HRTs are 111k, and this is per mission at the same ship size and level 2. So you can bust through them so fast, making 100k a mission just about, if not more, and then moving on. Well, he must have hit an asteroid or something and took himself out. That's lovely. It is not uncommon for your bounties to take themselves out by running into rocks. Now, something I haven't touched on because we haven't really had the need to repair or rearm in this ship since we don't have any missiles and we've been pretty fortunate with our combat is just easy ways to do just that. Repair, rearm, reload, refuel, whatever. When you're doing those missions around Crusader, you can touch down on Yella, Selen, and Daymar to actually repair, rearm, and refuel. I will typically avoid the really busy spots like ArcCorp 141 on Daymar or some of the secure or Shubin facilities on Yella where everybody goes because people just leave their ships parked on the pad and you can't use them. So what I do is I look for the research outposts. On Selen, I believe there's one called Hikes. There's Deacon's research post. So these are places where you can land, rearm, and refuel and such. Or you can just head over to Seraphim Station and touch down on an external pad like we did when we refueled here in Pyro. You don't need to actually go into the hangars. And when doing that, you can rearm, refuel, reload your missiles, your ballistic weapons, whatever you have, and just keep on rolling. So hopefully that is simple enough. Let's scan to make sure we're clear. We got our main target that we still haven't locked in on yet. That looks like a freaking Guardian. That's not our target, though. We got a couple of ships out here. That is a Vandal Scythe. Okay. That ship can be a little scary. It hits really hard. So you definitely don't want to get hit by its cannons. Oh, and we got missiles, so we're going to hit Alt, right H to tick up our flare count. Dump several flares. Okay, I dumped a few because we had those coming in fast, and the PTU has been a little tricky with missiles. So again, I hit Alt H, right Alt H, to actually go up to 3 flares every time that I drop my flares. Alright, yeah, this guy's cannons are hurting. I'm trying to stay out of his shots. I'm trying to keep moving here. It's not too often that I fight scythes, and I'm usually not in such a fragile ship. If that scythe's big cannons hit me, I'm hurting. The plasma repeaters are no joke too. Woo! Yeah, we got a hard one. Alright. Just trying to stay out of his nose. They don't maneuver very well, the Vandal ships. The Blade is pretty good, but the Scythe and the Glaive, they're medium fighters. They're a bit heavier, which you can expect as you're getting into MRTs and such. This thing's actually kind of scary, though. It's keeping my shields down. I'm trying to really stay out of it. And I don't have any missiles to kind of trade blows with. Woo! Like fighting on the edge of blacking out. They are pretty squishy, though. You just got to get your hits in where they count. They will die. Doing a lot of boosting, a lot of down strafing, a lot of side strafing. Just trying to mix up what I'm doing. And if you drop contact like that, just retarget. Keep going. There's been some radar issues where we're dropping like that. And I got my shields back. He just dropped again. Pulling back around. Trying to stay out of that plasma gun's fire. That is dangerous. I don't want his shields to come back, though. Keep on putting those shots in. Prevent their shields from recharging. There's about a 10-second delay in shield recharge. I hope you guys have found this video helpful for bounties. It's at this point with MRTs that it's going to start to get a bit more challenging, and getting a bit more firepower might be a good option. There we go. Target destroyed. We got some boosts left. We're going to just get out of dodge because there's no need to stick around. Okay, can confirm there is no bounty hunter rep gain in Pyro. That did not go up at all. However, Citizens for Prosperity has gone up big time, and that wasn't even a headhunter pilot. Interesting. I thought CFP rep would only really go up. Ooh, Buccaneer. There we go. If you were doing headhunter affiliated pilots, but I seem to have been wrong about that. All right. That chime means you got a missile coming. Now missiles are firing. I only had to drop 3 flares, but I actually dropped an extra 3, which wasn't ideal. You don't really want to waste your flares. Again, I'm dropping 3 at a time by using right alt H. You can decrease the number of flares with left alt H. Again, increase flares with right alt H, decrease with left alt H. His ballistics got through my wings, which took out one of my guns. That's something to be careful of with the Mustang. If you lose a wing, you'll lose a gun. That's another thing with ballistic weapons. They will pass through your shields to some degree and do damage to you. And the Buck has so much firepower. That's honestly the craft that I recommend people use. There we go. And with that, we have earned 258,000 AUEC between 3 missions. The first one, they ran into an asteroid. And, you know, that was just an automatic win. But these are 86K a pop, man. So you're making money fast. That's over 250K with 3 Pyro MRTs. Now, MRTs are more challenging, and Pyro is dangerous. But there is some really good examples of risk and reward there. You're going to make a lot more. Now, we seem to have gotten an extra mission. Have we unlocked some headhunter stuff? Contraband weapons inbound. Oh, no, it's another bounty hunter mission, but it's for the CFP. As a bonus credit, we'll do this real quick and see. All right, this is actually pretty typical for like an MRT target to have a freelancer. It looks like he is going to be coming our way. You got to be careful when you lose a wing anywhere near atmosphere, because it is going to definitely affect how your ship flies. We are having to compensate heavily. Alright, he dropped his shields and got real derpy, so that ended up being super easy. Wow. Okay, alright. Okay, girl. Just trying to get out of the atmosphere. Oh, and with that, we gained rep, or rather, went negative on rep with another faction because we stopped the smuggling of firearms with the headhunters, so they're hostile to us, while we have flown through all the way to junior contractor with the CFP. And again, Bounty Hunter Guild is staying low, so you're not going to gain any more Bounty Hunter rep in Pyro. So you got to go back to Stanton and do regular bounties to rank that up. So if you want to get to HRT, VHRT, ERT, you got to go back to Stanton. But then you can make the real good money hitting those missions here. And it's fantastic. Again, just to show you guys. And yep, there it is. We got it. So now that we finished and we got into Junior Contractor, we've unlocked the really good 93K MRT mission, which is going to be around the same ships that we were just fighting. Freelancers, Vanduul, probably Cuddies, you know, ships that are going to hurt. You know, you don't know what you're doing. You want to be careful. Probably have your ship equipped pretty well. But you're making almost 100K per mission. And it is fast. So this is where the bounty money is, even with the loot not being there. I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I was trying to make it as concise as I could with getting all the pointers that I could think of in there. This is a great little starter ship. Again, we did this on purpose with the little Mustang Alpha to show you going in with your base $45 package and that you can make some serious money and get the job done. I would probably save up to get your hands on something a bit more beefy like a Buccaneer or a Saber. I really like the 4.3s on the Saber and its stealth, and I don't know, I love it all around. Let me know, guys, if you have any questions down below in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know what else you want to see. I would like to get into more of these sort of instructional stuff, kind of showing what's going on, whether it's combat, mining, salvage, rep with different factions, how things work. Yeah, I think I've talked enough. I'll catch you guys out in the verse. Later.